Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome to this week's episode. I wanted to start out this week by asking a question. Simple question: how often do you plan out what you're going to shoot? Is it often? Is it not often? Is it something that you rarely do or never do? Planning out your shoots may not be something that's necessary for everything that you do, but there are times, especially with landscape photography, where a plan or at least a guideline of what you want to shoot, where you want to shoot it, and how is going to be integral to capturing a good image or even elevating the image that you already have in mind. So I know you may not be able to or even need to plan every shoot that you're going to have or every shoot that you're going to go out on. I know some of my friends and followers on Instagram made sure to let me know with a poll that I had up about how often do you plan, that they don't plan or can't plan or don't plan as much as I might have been implying. So sorry for that, guys. That wasn't the intent to rub you the wrong way. So a caveat to all this is, of course, some things can be overdone. Obviously you want to have an idea, you want to have a guideline of what you wanted to do or what you want to shoot or where you wanted to shoot. But if you overplan, you might be boxing yourself into a hole or into a corner that you may not be able to get out of. So how do you want to plan your shoot? How do we want to plan a landscape photo that we want to take? How do we want to plan something that we want to photograph in nature? Whether it's going to be a sweeping grand landscape, whether it's going to be macro photography, or even, something simple like a small scene. So in those situations, what questions are we asking? And using the story idea is there are some basic questions that you can ask when telling that story. The who, what, where, when, why, and how. So I'm going to pack up here since I'm all set up here from something that I was shooting earlier. I'm also starting to lose a little bit of light. We'll go over a few of these questions and a few of these ways that we can plan and some of the apps and websites that we could also use to help with our plan. So I'm going to get packed up here and then we'll answer some of these questions. So let's answer some of these questions. Generally speaking, the first question of what is usually based on what type of photography that you're going to be doing. Since I do predominantly landscape type photography, obviously I'm going to be looking for landscapes or other type of scenery based on the location that I'm going to be in. So that's going to be my focus, and that's kind of going to be the general premise as I take you through the rest of these questions. So the next question is going to be where. How do you find your locations? Do you scout your locations out? Do you find them randomly or spontaneously? I know for me, it's usually a mixture of the two. More often than not, there is a lot of random and spontaneous ones, but there are locations that I do scout out and make sure that I research on. The random ones produce some great photos. The planned out ones will produce some great photos. Sometimes I'm both not. There are a couple of apps and websites that I use to gather that information, though, when I do research for that. So the first thing that I do when researching a location or researching for a location is some general websites. Websites that we all use. Google Maps, Google Earth. Google Earth is great. Google Maps is great because when you're looking around areas, they'll sometimes include the little photo tags of what people have taken there, either professional photographers that have uploaded to Google, or you get people on vacation taking their selfies. Sometimes you can see some nice landscapes and land features behind them that you might want to take a shot of. To go along with that, I'll also use the locations in Instagram and Facebook, because sometimes when you search for a location, you'll get that same information as well. The nice thing about it is when you search for locations on social media, those locations will come with people's posts and people's tags. So sometimes you'll actually get some information about that location that you can use to plan your shots out as well. The other websites that I'll use occasionally as well is to find some other things that are maybe off the beaten path or maybe things that I might not have thought of. To go with that, there's a website called Atlas Obscura where you'll find, as the name suggests, obscure type things that you can find in an area or even in your own town that you might not have known of. I've actually found a couple of things locally here through that website that growing up here my entire life, I never knew existed. Another app or website that I've used is Road Trippers. You can actually set a radius along a route to find points of interest and things to go along with that. And then you can kind of correlate that with your maps and stuff. The last part is because I do occasionally go out and like to shoot, birds and raptors and stuff. I use the Cornell eBird and Merlin websites and apps to identify the birds, but also the eBird app will actually tell you hotspots of where there's a lot of specific types of birds or a lot of birds or a lot of different sightings. So these are all useful to have. So the next question that we'll answer is the when. And there's usually some important questions that go along with when you want to take a photo of your grand landscape or some land feature. One that I always look up, especially when I'm traveling to areas that I don't normally go to, is entry hours. I go to a lot of different parks and a lot of different areas that have parking and stuff like this. You want to know the hours because if you get there too early, they're not going to let you in. Or you might not be able to get in. Or if they close at a particular point, you might have problems at that point as well. So the first app I'm showing you here is Photo Pills on my tablet. This is a pretty comprehensive app. It gives you a lot of different options of different things that you can use, and even some tools that'll help you improve some of your photography and even planning for field of view, your depth of field. You want to shoot star trails and such. There's a lot of information in here that you can use. I predominantly use the planner. In the planner, you can get information using a time slider about all the various things that you could be looking for as far as sunrise, sunset, moonrise, moonset. It also shows you times for golden hour, blue hour, etc., galactic center, all those different features. I also use the meteor shower button to look at when all the different meteor showers are, and they give it the same information as well. You also have the option of running through tutorials in the Academy, plus you can save your stuff under My Stuff to go back to plans or revisit a location. The other apps that I use when putting together a plan for a particular shot are basically weather type apps and timing type apps. The first is timeanddate.com. It's a great little site. Not even a little site, it's a very large site. But you get a lot of information about sunrise, sunset, moon phases, and other information based upon that. You could also get nautical information about tides and stuff. If you wanted to shoot something at low tide or high tide, that information will be in there for you as well. Another website that I use particularly for sunrises and sunsets is Sunset WX or Sunset Weather. Is a great website that will give you predictions based upon your location through a map that will show you whether a sunset tonight or tomorrow or tonight is going to be good or sunrise tomorrow morning is going to be good. So you can help kind of plan out, determine if you're going to get up dark early in the morning to go out and shoot sunrise or not. So it's a pretty helpful app for that as well. So the last question that we're going to ask is the how. And basically with the how, you want to figure out what equipment you're going to be needing for your shoot or what equipment that you're going to bring along with you. I don't know about anybody else. There's a lot of times I bring pretty much my entire kit with me. I don't carry a very large kit, so there's not much that I have to worry about in that respect when it comes to weight. But there's going to be other things that I may not bring with me or may bring with me for a particular case. Like, am I going to bring a drone with me? Am I going to bring the camera that I'm filming on right now with me? Am I going to be filming for something? Am I bringing a telephoto lens? Am I bringing a wide angle lens? Depends on what I'm shooting. Another thing might be, am I shooting handheld or on a tripod? Am I doing time shots where my shaky hands aren't going to be good enough where I need a tripod? So these are all considerations that you need to make when putting together the how. So that's about it in a nutshell. You can certainly, plan every shot that you want to take, or you could plan only a little bit of the shots that you can take. Don't worry about if you do plan or don't plan. maybe this is an opportunity to try planning out a shot and seeing how it goes for you, seeing how it works. The workflow is going to be your own. These are just things that I do that I can recommend to you that, work for me. These things may not work for you. You might find a better tool that does work for you. So thank you for joining me. Thanks for coming along in this journey. I appreciate if you like what I'm getting started here, if you would give a like or subscribe here. And stay tuned because more content is coming, and I'll be doing some more Instagram posts and polls. But also, I'm going to definitely try to keep up a weekly routine on this. So I do appreciate you watching. And like I said, if you can like and subscribe, that would be fantastic. So everybody have fun, happy shooting, and I'll see you soon.